Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lizzie, or welcome to my channel for the first time. Good to have you. Alright, I want to get this out of my body so bad so I can stop talking about these people because I'm over it so much. But let's talk about the top points I feel like discussing. I'm going to read what was said, what I think about it, and just get it out because I did not watch the full interview. I have just watched clips. I did not give them ratings. I did not DVR it. I will not watch this interview. I'm over the whole fucking thing. But I promised I would give my breakdown of what I thought about the interview. So here we go. Number 1. They said they were married 3 days before the wedding in secret. There's some talk about this. I'm adding my opinion. I'm adding public opinion as well in this one. For one, this is a serious diss to my Scottish lineage, and I find it highly fucking offensive because my people had to get married in secret because of English fucking soldiers coming in to rape and impregnate the wives so that they could bleed out, or birth out, I should say, the Scottish lineage of my people. So the fact that they did what my ancestors were forced to do is annoying as fuck and rude. If she was Scottish, I would applaud it. You're paying homage to our people. The fact that neither one of you are Scottish, well, Harry might be, but it's because he stole my family's shit. Rude. Rude. Smack in the face to my people. I hope Scotland revolts. For real. That's just my own personal thing. But let's get into what the people are saying. First of all, the wedding cost $45 million. Why a big splashy day if you wanted a private event? On top of that, they robbed Eugenie's wedding and her location for a fake wedding day, and reportedly claimed in an interview she was friends with Eugenie before knowing Harry. Ouch. Even more of a diss to Eugenie. Taxpayers want to start a petition to have the $45 million paid back by the Harkles, and they feel like they're even more of a sham couple. And even ruder still, to have announced that they're pregnant on Eugenie's wedding. And then a few days after Eugenie announces her firstborn son, Meghan announces she's pregnant with her second child. You know what that means to me? She's a fucking shitty friend. For real. You already been married in secret. You didn't need that big splashy fucking event. You could have let Eugenie have her big day. You could have got married in secret and could have waited until the next year to have your big splashy event so that Eugenie could have had her day. But no, that would take thinking about somebody else and realizing they dated a lot longer than the two of you and were engaged already. Not only that, you took attention from Eugenie on her wedding day by announcing your fucking pregnancy, which is rude, the rudest thing I have ever heard of her doing. And then Eugenie welcomes her first son, which you had your first son. Did anyone cloud your baby's day? No. But you had to cloud Eugenie's news by announcing your pregnancy right after. You couldn't even give her like a week to just be cool about it and get the attention she deserves. You are a shitty fucking friend. Anyway, number 2, Meghan claims that there were questions asked to Harry about what color Archie's skin would be before she had her son. Then Harry told Meghan, but neither would say the who, which is fucking stupid if you're already going to throw shade in a very dangerous way, which I feel like is going to take down the monarchy. You might as fucking well say who said it at that point. So I think it's 100% fucking fake, but we'll get into it. How easy to make up a racist event and not be able to have anyone to confirm or deny it. If you were that upset and that repulsed and uncomfortable, why not say who? Why protect their name if you truly believe they don't protect yours? I think it's complete bullshit. Why would Prince Harry run home and tell his pregnant wife about something so upsetting and get her all worked up over it? Why didn't he speak up as a man then and there and say, hey, don't say those things about my son. It's rude and we're not talking about that ever again. Why didn't he do it right then and there? So instead of doing something about it, he ran home and told his wife, which obviously would have been upsetting and just make the whole situation worse and make her feel worse about herself. Okay, say if I was a man and my lady was pregnant, I would have kept that to my fucking self because she's got enough shit to deal with. I just feel like that was kicking up more issues. You could have vented that to anyone but the person carrying your fucking child. Anyway, number 3. Meghan claims the royal family never wanted Archie to have a title. Not them. Like when it came out saying that they didn't want the title, that wasn't true. They did want the title. She claims she wanted the title so that Archie would be protected. She hints the royal family didn't want to give him a title because he would be a mixed child. And only the heirs of the children who get only the heirs children, like Prince William is going to be the king after Charles, so only his children would be prince or princess until apparently Charles becomes king, and then Prince Harry's child would be a prince. But he was never, ever going to get a title at birth. Harry would have known this. He grew up with the rules all of his life. So I just think that's bullshit. Harry's children would only get Lord or Duke, no matter who he had children with. Black, white, doesn't fucking matter. He was never going to get the title. So I don't at all believe it was because of racism or because they refused to protect Archie. The princesses, as in Princess Eugenie, Princess Beatrice, were given titles because they came from the Queen's son. Princess Eugenie's son won't be a prince either. I think that is complete bullshit. The royal family were just following protocol and she made it about race. Number 4. She claims that they refused to protect Archie because he wouldn't have a title and that she felt he should have protection. 1. If you're a working top royal member, you and your son would automatically get protection. But you have to be living in the palace or one of the Queen's properties, and you have to be working full time. Everyone in the public eye who works for them, as in the firm or the Queen, is protected with security detail. They wanted to live in other places that would have cost the Queen more in staff and that cost the taxpayers more. So she said, no, pay for it yourself. If you do not want to live where it is feasible for them to protect you without extra cost to the people or the Queen, I think that's very fair. Like basically, if you are a active working royal family member in the senior upper class and you're out here working representing the Queen, wherever you go, you're going to have security detail. If you live in the palace apartments or if you live where the Queen automatically already has security, you will be protected. Your son will be protected. But because you wanted to leave the establishment and you only wanted to pick and choose what you were going to work, the Queen said no. It wasn't because they didn't want to protect Archie. Of course they would protect Archie. They didn't want anything to happen to them. It would make them, the firm, look bad if Archie was out here to get killed and not being protected. I think they learned that from Diana. It was the fact that they wanted to live other places where there wasn't already security, which would have cost more money and the taxpayers would have got pissy about. They would have protected you if you stayed working full time and you did your duty like anybody else who's in the upper elite working, representing the Queen. You think you don't drive your cars to the events. Who do you think's around the cars with you? When you're walking around the public and you're at a Queen represented event, they have security. You are lying through your fucking teeth. You were told no because you were moving off base. Wanted to move to Frogmore Cottage, which is still technically the Queen's property, but they would have to pay for security there. And they don't want the taxpayers to get pissed off. It's coming out of the people's pockets, which you fail to realize. Number 5, Meghan claims other part-time working royal members have security and live in the palace apartments, and they wanted to be like them. 1, the part-timers still work full-time on their duties. They just aren't covered by the press as much. You don't see them as much, but they're out here doing a lot of work, going out and doing a lot of things. They're just not in the walking on Christmas Day and the upper elites of events, but they're still working full time. So they're not part-time members. They still live in the protected zone that does not cost the Queen extra or the taxpayers extra to protect them. They still have rules they have to follow to stay, just like any other job. They wanted to do whatever they wanted with no rules and still have all their bills and clothing allowance and security paid for. That's not how the world works. It's not about racism or trying to trap them. It's just the rules. Follow them and stay, or pay your own way. So yes, there are people who have a lesser role in the royal family, but like Princess Sophia, is it Princess Sophia? I call her Sophie. She works a lot. She goes to a ton of events. The Queen's daughter went to a ton of events. There's just not media coverage. They're not splashed over the tabloids, and they're not sitting up front with the Queen at events, but they're working probably more than the rest of the people. They also live and where the Queen already has security. They're protected. Again, they wanted to live outside. They wanted to pick what events they showed up to and how much they were going to work and still have all the allowances. That's not how any job would work. You don't get to pick and choose what you want to do. Naive children. Number 6. Meghan claims she asked for help from top members of the royal family and from HR for help with her mental health issues, and nothing ever came of it. 1, you have your own staff. Why not hire your own counselor to come in secret? Legally, they cannot divulge what is discussed, and you can make them sign a gag order. If you truly needed the help and no one in the firm would provide it, aren't you a grown-ass woman with a college degree? Surely you could have done some research to find your own counselor. Harry also went to rehab in the past and openly stated he saw someone for his issues. So how come the family wouldn't have at least got her a counselor if they were willing to help Harry before she ever showed up? Also, Will and Kate and Harry and Meghan started their own mental health awareness foundation before splitting off. Kate's brother suffers from mental illness. I highly doubt Kate or Will would have shoved mental illness issues under the rug and would have helped her to get the help she needed. I think she's lying. So, you go to the firm and you can't go to a place to get mental help, but you can certainly get a counselor to come in. You can certainly call up somebody to come stay with you, but maybe you pushed out all your friends so you didn't have anyone to come stay with you. She rebelled in so many other things. I find it hard to believe that if she really was struggling, and I've struggled with mental health issues all my life, it doesn't add up for me. I just feel like she's trying to be like Diana. Diana genuinely suffered from an eating disorder. She genuinely had depression. It's being splashed all over the media and the Crown and all that. She's sitting home watching and getting ideas. I'm sorry if that seems insensitive, but the firm, was it not an embarrassment for Harry to have gone to rehab? And you'd think rehab was a lot worse. I really feel like that's bullshit, especially with all the work. Their whole special before the interview, the royal family, was about mental health. So, fuck off. Number 7, Meghan claims she got suicidal and had to attend the Albert Hall event because she was afraid to be alone. Why smile and look like a happy couple and life is good if you were afraid of your mental health? You're strong enough to claim you might harm yourself, but wouldn't be real and stay quiet or openly ask for help and publicly then. She was told not to go. She wanted to go to piss people off. I understand she's an actress, but in the past she had no trouble speaking about not being asked if she was okay. They make all these secret decisions and moves, yet want us to believe that they wouldn't have played it up at the time. So, if that was true and she was afraid what she was going to do to herself, she looked like happier than a pig of shit that whole night. I know that while she's an actress, she was just playing the part. No. You got more mental problems than you are admitting if that's really how you act because you're scared of what you're going to do. So you get your husband all worked up, you get him scared, you play on his traumas, and you piss people off for showing up. Call for attention. Number 8. The claims the firm knew about Kate making Meghan cry, but didn't step up to defend her or hinted they leaked the story to create a villain. Meghan would have had one of her friends come out and speak about Kate making her cry in the press at the time, like she did every other time she felt she was getting bad press. I don't at all believe it happened. If it did happen, I want to see a picture of the photo card. A photo of the card that she supposedly wrote with the flowers, and a picture of the flowers if you got one, or a purchase order from Kate. Prove it, because nobody believes it. Number 9, she claims she was silenced and that she had her keys, IDs, and passports taken. But she went to the U.S. Open, she had her own baby shower, she was seen out walking to work out, she went and did all her duties on her own, sometimes with Harry, sometimes on her alone. And she was never in the house for months at a time. She was working or out traveling. Maybe if she didn't push everyone out of her life for her new life, she'd have people visiting. Meghan is pushy and outgoing. I don't believe she would allow anyone to tell her she couldn't go see her friends or have lunch with her friends. I don't at all see her being like, okay, I won't. Look at her fucking behavior. She has always done what she wanted to do. Number 10, Tyler Perry paid for their protection and let them live in his house. Why would the royal family protect you when you decided to step back in a completely different country in the pap city of the world close to Los Angeles or in California in general, where the paps are worse than your fucking country will ever be? You did it to yourself. Number 11, family cut them off and Charles not taking his calls. Number 1, his dad had COVID and he never once acknowledged that. So Prince Charles was going through COVID, William spoke out about it. I think it came out that Harry was worried about his dad, but where was the action in that? Didn't go home to see him. Maybe he was offended about the fact that he could have died and his son didn't seem to give a shit. Number 2, it was cut off because you left. 1 year is, if it's too much, they expected them to come back to Frogmore. So they were giving you a year, but they weren't going to fund it. Your purpose of going out was to see if you could make it on your own. So of course they cut you off. You wanted to make it on your own? Okay. Let's see in a year if you want to come back or not. Going out on your own means you're cut off from the money line. You're not working for the Queen anymore. You're not even in your country in one of the biggest crises we have ever seen in any country. You're not doing anything. So why would you expect to get paid? I do think it's fucked up that his dad stopped taking his calls. If it wasn't for the COVID thing, I'll give him that. Number 12. She claims she lost a lot. Her father, her reputation, her baby, her name, her loss of character. She chose to lose her dad. That's 100% choice. He's been open in the press and wanting to work on it. She's being the stubborn one. She could mend fences if she wanted to. If she wanted a dad in her life, if it was that important to her, you would have tried to mend fences, other than a stupid letter you wanted in the papers. Her name and reputation has only grown since marrying Harry, like she was losing her spot on the one show that she was on, and she wasn't famous for anything else. She had the tag, but I can't, of all the people I talked to, nobody ever watched the tag or was interested in it. I'm not saying she didn't have followers, but she wasn't a massive celebrity. Now everybody knows her name, so bitch please. And she tarnishes her name herself by constantly being in victim mode in one of the worst of the world's crisis. Like, this is not the time. How many people have to say this is not the fucking time for you to be trashing people and your family and painting pictures? We are all in crisis. We are losing our jobs. We are starving. We are struggling to keep our homes. And you got to make yourself primetime special, silencing massive people who have a lot more important things to say and would actually change the world and not just cry and complain. Number 13, they said they never walked away. They left because they were not being supported. One, they gave a list of demands and were told no. So they lashed out, expecting them to beg and take them back, and are now surprised they never begged. So they didn't get their way. So their temper tantrum was leaving. Like, you need us, we're so important. With that big-headedness, like, you can't replace us, you need us, we're part of the firm. They're going to see it as soon as we're gone. They don't need you. And that's what hurts the most to them. Number 14, Diana's money is what they've been living on. What about the millions they have made with Netflix? This current interview, they said they didn't get paid for, but they did. And all their fake charity money with this fake Archwell shit that they're investigating. Number 15, they said they felt trapped and nowhere to go to help. So they run to Hollywood because they're so trustworthy and helpful. Hollywood is the most self-absorbed place. They're out for their own heads. They'll cut yours off to get ahead and stomp on you. Like Hollywood, California, that whole state. All self-absorbed narcissists. Like the worst place to go for help. They want something from you. Number 16. This is what made me want to fucking puke. The Little Mermaid voice. Like, the whole fucking thing. Her little saying about the mermaid. Like, I'm like Ariel. She lost her voice. Cheeseball. You're fucking cheesy. What are you, 6 years old? Get off the Disney pipeline, would ya? And then she said that it turned out better than any fairy tale ever could. I think that's bullshit. I think your marriage is hanging on by a thread. Number 17. Meghan said she got no training, that she never looked up Harry on the internet. One, you're an actress. You have given speeches. You worked for the Woman UN. Like, why would they give you training if you already had training for what the job required? And first of all, you're never going to be queen. So they only prep the ones that are going to be queen or princess. And first of all, I mean, I roll 5,000 times when you said you didn't look up Harry. You spent your whole young to teenager to early adult studying the royal family. You were obsessed. You got books about the royal family as gifts. You had Prince William on your wall. You had magazines. This is all stuff that came out about your friends. But you didn't know who Prince Harry is? Bitch, please. Who the fuck do you think you're trying to fool? And first of all, if you go on a date with a prince, it's not bad about your character, but everyone would go home and be like, he's a prince? Let me make sure this is legit. Google. Be real for once in your life. Number 18. That she was ashamed to ask for help or admit that she had a problem. And Harry's ashamed to ask for help from Meghan, but not ashamed to speak up in a special about not being okay. You didn't think that was shameful? Please, this crap they pull. I can't even deal anymore. Is that all of it? There's a bunch of other stuff, but that's all I really wanted to say about it. I really feel like This is the acts that, like, once the Queen and Prince Philip is gone, I really feel like the people are going to be like, enough. We're done. Not just because of the accusations made, but because this is only going to get nastier. I don't see it going away, and people are just tired. And then you got the Prince Andrew and the sex scandal, and, you know, the taxpayers have been voicing for years that they're sick of funding an unneeded system. You're just like a figurehead. You're just like... There's no reason to have a king and a queen anymore, but they respect and love and adore Queen Elizabeth so much that they're going to let her ride it out. After this interview, Charles is going to drop back down in popularity because a lot of people believe he's the one that asked about the color of the skin. It's just not. You put a nail in your family's coffin. And I just don't understand. He seemed so uncomfortable in that whole interview. Like he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to be there. Not that I didn't think he had good things to say. Bottom line, some of the things Harry said I genuinely believe, but I believed nothing Meghan said. Nothing. That's just my personal opinion. And that's all I want to say about that. That's all the energy they will get from me until the next big bomb drop that I gotta sit and study for 2 fucking hours. People are a bunch of drama. I have never met 2 people, like, I didn't even meet them, but I've never seen 2 people who need so much fucking attention throughout the whole, like, they have the worst fucking timing. It's like, you have no common sense about timing, about how to make yourself look better. It's like you have the worst fucking PR team on the goddamn planet. You really do. And, you know, a lot of people, all these news shows are backing them up. And a lot of, like, media outlets are like, oh, this is, like, oh my God, so shocking. But the average people, the ones that count, are in the biggest numbers. Through this whole interview, get the fuck over yourselves. We have real fucking problems, and we don't have time for your bullshit with your negative toxicity creeping about the planet. Because of you, a lot of stories got silenced. We still don't have a set date on when they're going to do this unemployment thing, which was supposed to be already done by now. It's National Women's Day. Like, women out here doing that damn thing. Nurses, doctors, fucking people who save fucking lives through this whole pandemic are getting no light shined on them because all anybody wants to fucking talk about today is your bullshit. You're a grown-ass adult. Handle your shit with class and privacy. Goodbye, everybody. I have to go because my blood pressure is raising. See you again soon. Bye.